Good evening, race fans, and welcome to BSTV. This is the TCR Challenge Cup again. It's Wednesday. If you're doing something else on a Wednesday evening, then you're doing it wrong. This is rounds 7 and 8 of season 14, and we are at Road Atlanta, my favourite track on the planet. It's been my favourite track for a very long time. I'm Pete Bingham, and in the booth with me, as always on a Wednesday, is Sir Alan of Toon. Good evening.
Oh, Pete, I'm so excited.
I know, it's going to be great.
I'm vibrating. I love this place, like you. I think
yes.
probably not as much as you, because it's not my favourite track, but it's well up there in my top 10 of really groovy places.
Yeah, I mean, I first encountered this on Gran Turismo. Don't know what year that would be.
Oh, crikey.
Yeah, it's going to be just after the millennium, I would think. I don't know when Gran
That's true,
Turismo was. Yeah, but it was the first of them, and I don't know how many thousands of laps I've done around here. However, I'm still no good at it, Alan. In true racing fashion, it has 13 turns. However, there is a 10A and 10B in true American corner numbering fashion. That chicane towards the very end of the lap. I kind of understand A's and B's on American tracks. If there's an alternative route you can go. But there isn't. You have to do both bits. You have to do 10A. I think we are approaching it here with yeah, we are. This vexes me, this one. Let me get rid of the track map a minute just for a second. That's 10A. This is 10B, and I get it if you could remove one, but you can't. So that's
Well, yeah, because to me they're distinctly different corners.
Yes, I would say so. Yeah, it is a chicane of sorts.
Very nice sequence, actually.
Oh, it's lovely. Yeah, it's lovely.
It really, yeah. It deserves better than a 10A, I think, to be honest.
I think so, yeah. At least on This Is Spinal Tap, it was turned up to 11, right?
Yeah.
So
11A.
11A, yeah, let's go for that. 32-degree track temperature, so fairly warm. Warm is...
It's sweaty.
It's sweaty. Track is sweaty. And this is welcome to the pork chop, folks. No idea why it's called that, but doesn't look like a pork chop at all. So we've got some good cameras here. I don't think this track has had the treatment, as in it's not been digitally remapped fully yet, like some of the other ones have, like Zandvoort recently. But I'm hoping it'll happen soon. Right, let's talk about the standings, shall we? Because a few things have changed. We have Miguel Freitas is at the top, no change there. David Johansson's moved up. On the back of Jason Landry scoring himself a negative 200 for swapping his car on a week where you're not supposed to. And Eli David spotted that one. And Sam Blees is promoted into third place. I don't think it's going to take Jason Landry long to get back into the top 5, do you?
Not on past week's performances, Pete, to be honest.
No, he last week was just
a rapid gentleman.
Stunning. Yeah. He left them all for dead last time with a double victory, I think it was. So Sam Blees is into third place then, as a result of that. Jamie Wilson is in fourth, and Austin Knight is in fifth now. Fiona Siddons just outside the top 5, and with no Austin Knight in the field tonight, you would favour Fiona to move herself upwards and into the top 5, unless she gets leapfrogged, of course, by a very rapid Carl Hardy. Right, team standings. No surprises here. Impulse Racing, Head, Shoulders, and everything else above everybody else. Hydro Race, Geodesic Racing in second. Hydro Race Racing Forces in third. No Racing Forces cars on the grid this evening. So that may change as Sim Racing Grid, in the form of David Johansson, start creeping towards them. Only 31 points behind right now. And Team Chimera, which is just Jamie Wilson on his Todd, in 5th place. Matthews Logistics with Vapors Mansfield won't score any more points this season because Fiona has joined Andrew Littler in Spiro Bar Result. That's going to give Spiro quite a lot of points, I would think, Alan.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah, I should think it will. Right.
Yeah, that'd be very nice for Andy as well to have a partner.
Yeah, he's not
And,
here tonight, or he's not here yet tonight. He's going to have to rush because he's only got 4 minutes before quali. He may not be able to. We know he does a lot of long
busy
distance
at the moment.
stuff, doesn't he? So
very busy.
yeah. David Johansson, top of the pile of driver of the meeting, with Jamie Jeffrey, Mark Draper, and Carl Hardy all sharing second place on 1 point each. And then this is a surprise. Your Safe Driver Awards, Sir Alan. The two drivers that joined us for just one race week, Per Havard Hafstad and Vegard Olsen Lear, are our two safest drivers. Granted, they have only done one race week instead of the 9 races to qualify for this one. But it does show that they should have probably stayed with us, given the performance that they've got on there. JB Dejoux is the one best positioned to take top spot now. And Matt Flannery and Fiona round out the top 5 there. Jamie Wilson just on the outside of that.
Jamie slipped a bit. Jamie Jeffries slipped a bit, hasn't he, this season?
Yeah, he's been a bit quicker this season though, and I think that's part of the trade-off.
Yeah, well, it's part of. It's always amazed me that he could do so well in the Safe Drivers when he was out there mixing it up every week. So it's a bit more rational. There's a bit more rationality to that, really.
Definitely.
Look at that. Isn't that beautiful, the way the cars swing around there?
It's lovely. Goodness. This track has so many wonderful features. We'll jump on board with somebody in a second.
Do you remember when we had that unexploded bomb down there?
Yeah.
Seasons ago, right across the track.
Yeah, proper landmine that was. Right, let's go on board. We've already come around the last turn. We're on board with Matt Flannery. We're going to tip it into turn 1 here. 4th gear, heavy on the gas. Use as much track as you can, a bit more than that probably. And then brake as soon as you see the curbing here, and get your speed off so you don't cross over as you go through that chicane at the top of the hill. And then it's gas all the way down here. Do not lift. Get the grip. Keep it to the right. Take curb on both of these, but take it square. Then a bit of curb here, but not too much, because it'll punt you out onto the gravel out here. There is a slowdown, there's a 1X, there's a spear off to the left. That's a lethal corner back there at turn 5. And then the top of the bone of the chop, here we are, 3rd gear, and then 2nd gear. You should be dropping a gear here. Yes, he does. Oh, he's gone into 1st. All right, and then fire it out and up the hill. This hill, if you're if you're in someone's toe, and you think, oh, I've got a toe here, it doesn't do you that much good because you're uphill, and it gets very frustrating. You want to be on the left of someone if you crest this hill next to them, and then down here into 10A and 10B, which should never be that. That white line there, get rid of all your speed. 2nd gear, take loads of curb on these two. You can't get punished for it really. A little bit wide there maybe from him. Get it turned. That's a bit hesitant through there. A bit more curb, bouncing her through on that last turn, and that is 1 lap. It looks like you should get time in that lap in order to gather yourself together. But it's so technical, this track. I don't think you get very much time. I don't know what your thoughts are, Alan.
I think it depends who you are.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But yeah, the track is technical. It's demanding, but it's in a really delightful way that makes drivers want to push on.
Yeah, and
it's one of those, isn't it? You're never going to get tired of trying to go faster around here.
No, and there's so many corners that are forgiving until they're just not, and it just switches off on you. Miguel has put in a couple of laps. That's all he's done. And he's parked it there, ready for qualifying to start, which is in about 20 seconds. We do have Matt Flannery still out on track touring at the moment. But yeah, this track, everywhere feels really fast. Even the slow corners feel fast, and you don't often get that on tracks.
We've got the wicked hairpin. You have to be careful around there. But of course, if you don't carry your pace, you're in for a hard time going up that hill. It's a long run up the hill.
It really is, and it punishes you if you come off that corner slow. And likewise, turn 1, if you come off that slow, you're going to get annihilated as well. So we have reached the end of the practice session. We now have a 15-minute qualifying session, and for those of you watching for the first time, we have a 20-minute first race, and a 40-minute feature race. Mandatory pit stop in the second race, we think, unless we get a full course caution. Unlikely with only 11 cars on the track, or is it 12 now? It might be 12. And no, I think it's still 11, even with Miguel joining. We have had in the previous season Sam Blease get round this feature race without pit stopping. He didn't win it, and he did it once under a full course caution race, and once without the full course caution. He just managed his fuel very well, but didn't win it. So he's proved it can be done, but I think there is a time and a track for that to happen, and we've yet to see it really have an effect.
It's not Atlanta.
It's not here. This is full fuel. This everybody will be getting the best tow they can. Not on this lap, obviously. You don't score on your out lap, but on your racing lap, you will do. Seeing what's going on here.
Oh, nice livery.
Yeah, that's Fiona's new livery for Spyro by result.
Roger's been, no doubt, doing his artistry.
Yeah, probably. What's going on back here? Right, who's going to be the first one round? Number 5, Jason Landry. Right, he's got David Johansson in tow, who will be making the most of that that benefit round here. Flying over the top there. JB's been quick round here, you know. I was watching him in practice. He was getting the top of the hill chicane wrong, just in the background there a few times, but other than that, he was pretty rapid. As everybody comes firing down here through the snake.
It's an interesting circuit, isn't it? Because we're all very familiar with it, but it's always the challenge.
Yes. It does feature on, so you never hear people complaining about Road Atlanta. It's just one of those tracks that people seem to enjoy either watching, a bit like Road America. Road America is another one that people love to drive at and love to watch at the same time. Jason Landry pulls a tactic of not wanting to give David Johansson a tow down the back straight here and joins his teammate on the back straight.
Thinking drivers.
Thinking drivers, yep.
Interested to see how the cars could do with this week with the Civic and the Elantra.
Well, I think Jason Landry is going to be the one that sets the bar in the Elantra. He was so fast last week, unbelievable. David Johansson sets everybody away with a 129.0. And
this is not a million miles away from Spa, is it, in lots of respects?
No, you got some really, really big straights. That back straight it goes on forever. It feels like it when you're trying to chase somebody down anyway. And then some very heavy braking zones, some very tricky chicanes. The sweeping S section here. You get offline at the top and you are offline and it gets worse and worse and worse. It's like pulling a piece of string on a jumper. You just don't do it, right? Just don't touch it. Because you're going to end up with just one massive piece of string and no jumper, and that's what happens. You start pulling at it at the top of the hill there, and it gets worse and worse and worse, and then it pumps you off at turn 5, sends you into a wall on the left or the right, and that's you done.
Yes, it's better to give in gracefully, probably.
It's a good way to put it, actually. Yeah, I like that. Give in gracefully. Shane Newport shouting for Jamie Jeffrey.
Well, it's a good shout because we like Jamie as well. He's a really great driver. He's great to watch. Exciting driver. Always in there. Always mixing it up.
Usually with Jamie Wilson, funnily enough.
Yes, well, with their virtually identical times.
Yeah. Jamie Wilson not on track at the moment. Not sure why. Not sure what's going on there. As Sam Blease takes the top spot provisionally.
Well, Jason was, very, very close with a 0-4-1, but yeah, Sam's in the 28s now, so that's setting the standard.
He's got out of the way there. I don't know whether he's messed up the first bit of the lap, or he wants a good shot with a double toe in front of him, because that car in front of him is Miguel. who's not yet posted a time. Must have got an off track on one of his laps.
Yes, this looks like a serious attempt there, doesn't it?
Potentially, he's got an overtake on it. So that's, the overtake's going to slow him down.
Yes.
And he'll probably pull out of this.
Oh, he's still got plenty of time. He's not under any pressure, is he? He doesn't have to thrash his tyres or anything. Oh, it's probably a bad idea anyway this early. Get too much heat in them.
Yeah. Miguel, what's somebody's doing? Warming his tyres, what?
Yeah, he's got... Wow.
I know, time to warm your tyres. If only. So Miguel, our reigning champion here from last season, already on the top spot this season, and Impulse Racing showing exactly what calibre of drivers they can produce.
Fantastic team, in depth as well, Pete, aren't they? I mean, they really are a fantastic outfit. Some superb drivers, and they race clean, they race hard, and they race clean. They've got a great attitude, and they're a pleasure to have in the booth for interviews as well. Yeah,
apart from when you end up with Wobbly, but from what he was saying on a chat last night, we won't see him for a while.
Why?
Because he has selected. I can't even believe I'm going to say this. It's just ridiculous. He's chosen running over racing. Who does that? Who wants to run?
Wobbly.
Yeah, like running.
Running?
Yeah, why would you do that?
I don't know. You'd have to ask my son. He runs marathons.
Yeah, that's what Wobbly does.
Yeah,
Psychos.
I don't understand it either.
Yeah. It's not normal behaviour.
It's very impressive and all that, but what on earth for anyone who wanted it? I've never got it.
Nah. Right, so Jason Landry takes the top spot at the moment, bails out of the lap he's on, trying to rebuild, ready for a faster lap. Samblees in second provisionally at the moment. Mark Draper in provisional third right now. That might disappear very shortly as it looks like David Johansson has got the toe of all toes, because that's Miguel in front of him who's been dragging him around this entire lap. Let's see what David Johansson can achieve. Samblees has got the top
spot. He's in the
28s,
so we're all in the 28s. This is...
I can only assume that David Johansson had an off track on that lap, and Samblees assumes the top spot provisionally again.
There's nothing in it, is there? 331 place 372.
Yeah.
Crikey.
That's less.
It's tight at the top.
That's less than the blink of your eyes, I think.
It's not much of a car, is it?
No.
It's probably not in the bumper.
It's the thickness of the paint. It's the thickness of the paint at the front. Oh dear, that's funny. That's good. It's the bumper. Classic. Right, I can't figure out the tactics that any of these guys are using, because they keep bailing on laps randomly in my head. They don't want to give each other the toe, that's for certain.
Well, it is. We've had this situation with the sprint races. They go hell for leather, but it tends to go by the clock a bit, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
These guys are quick, and what's more, they're reliably quick. So when they set off 1, 2, 3, you have to do something. There has to be something pretty special from 4.
Yes.
To upset that. Yeah, that's very difficult when you've got the 3 strongest drivers and you've got 20 minutes and they're hot to trot, and they certainly are, because they race hard. And so it's a better situation for everybody else in the feature event, where they're shoved in the middle of the bunch, right to the back, even better.
Yeah.
And they have to do all the work.
It's been very exciting getting full reverse grids the entire season so far.
It's been fantastic, hasn't it?
Been brilliant.
Racing, even with these not so gigantic grids, we've seen fantastic racing as these drivers pair off and scrap hard.
Yeah. So Samblees bettered his time significantly just then on a 1:28.045.
Blimey.
I know, he's bailed out of the lap he's on, swapping places there. David Johansson improved his time, but it didn't do him any good. He was the bubble in the spirit level. As he moved up, so did everybody else. Miguel looks like he's on a lap. Sambly's desperately trying to get heat in those tyres. It must be a bit of a handful, that Elantra. I have heard that the Veloster is the car for this track, potentially. Probably because of all these tight turns, Alan. It's a short wheelbase car, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say so. And you've got the carousel as well, Pete, where the car needs to hang on pretty well. I would say the Veloster would probably do a good job of that.
Yeah, definitely.
And you've got that wicked little chicane before the uphill at the end of the lap, and that's cool.
So that was Miguel posting his fastest lap so far, and wanting to do an absolute ripper of a lap following it, and didn't quite keep it on for turn 1. Sam Blees has bailed on this lap, but he's still got hold of that provisional pole position.
And very important. But it puts an awful lot of pressure on the start.
Yeah, too right.
Really does, goodness.
And we know Sam Blees can start. He's good off the line. Some drivers very fast in the race, but can't. I call it gating because I watch a lot of speedway. They can't start, can they? That clutch to gas.
Cars can get stuck. It's a funny thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. And it can happen to just the fastest of drivers.
Yeah.
But it doesn't happen to Sam very often, I have to say.
No, he and Spencer, when Spencer does race, they're very good at that setup. Let's see what else is going on. So, who's further down? Jason Landry, one-time provisional pole in this one, finds himself in 4th.
Still in the 28s, and got a fantastic lap.
I was just watching what was going on there. The times have altered, but that was just Miguel going a little bit faster, but not quite fast enough. Jamie Jeffrey, top 5. That'll be a nice start for him, and we know how racy he can be. Not sure what's going on with his banner. He should have a white and blue banner. I'll have to have a look at that. I've obviously made a mistake there somewhere. Mark Draper in 6th. He was right up in 3rd not that long ago, so shows how much it changes in qualifying in this league. As Jason Landry takes 3rd place with no toe. That should be a threat and a warning to anybody that he's got the car hooked up now.
Yes, and it's a low 28, isn't it? So
it is.
That seems to be the territory.
Yeah, at the moment, it looks like 2/10 covers the top 4 cars, is it? Something like that. Is that right? Or is it 1? I can't figure it out. Right, never mind. Where's Carl Hardy? Carl Hardy's in 7th.
He's on the cusp of the 28s. I'm egging him on here. I'm sitting here hoping, because he's done a 0. 29.03. It's so close. It's one of those frustrating times, isn't it? Where you're just on the edge of it. You can feel it. And, how much of a difference to a corner does 0.30?
I know. It's nothing, is it?
It's nothing. And then it would be in the 28th.
It's just catching a bit of curb and punch you. Oh, he's done it. There you go.
Yes, there we go.
Nice work.
Well done, Carl. Well done indeed.
Yeah, Jamie Wilson is in 8th place at the minute. Still getting a handle on this Veloster, I think.
Jamie's definitely got a 28 inside him in the normal run of things, you'd think.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we see this. He gets in the race, and he's a completely different racer, as it were.
He's a racer, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
That's it's his DNA to race. I think a lot of really very good racers aren't brilliant at hot lapping. It doesn't motivate them.
No.
Just to try and go fast around the lap. They like to race. That does motivate them.
Yeah, they like to be in the thick of the battle and the tactics and everything. So, and you can't blame them for it. Sometimes qualifying can be a bit blah, can't it? If you know what I mean. But if you're not on a lap now, then there's no point in being out on track. In fact, there's loads of people in the pits because this is heat racing. You won't get to finish your lap. As Jamie Wilson crosses the line there, he did improve, but not quite enough.
Perfectly timed.
Perfect. And that is it. It absolutely boots you. So that was the end of qualifying. So I should be able to press this and get the grid. So Sam Blease will be your poleman for Hydro Race Geodesic Racing this evening for round 7 of the TCR Challenge Cup here at Roda Atlanta. Miguel Freitas will go off second for Impulse Racing, and his teammate will be in the next row behind him, Jason Landry, for Impulse Racing as well. David Johansson will go off fourth for Sim Racing Grid. Jamie Jeffrey for Coupes and Convertible Racing will go off fifth. Mark Draper for SRL goes off sixth. Seventh will be Carl Hardy for Safeguard. By result, Jamie Wilson will go off 8th for Team Chimera, JB Dejoux off 9th for BSTV Sports Blue, Matt Flannery off 10th for Hydro Race Geodesic Racing, and Fiona Siddons no longer for Matthews Logistics with Vapors Mansfield. She is now Spyro by result driver. I've just not updated SDK. Right, so let's get ready with a decent camera, although that one could be good. I've never seen a race from behind on the start grid, so let's see what happens with this one, shall we?
It's an interesting start because there's not on this.
Yeah.
Sam's hanging out, isn't he?
He is. He looked like he was having trouble heating the tyres in the qualifying, so maybe he's waiting for the last second.
Yeah.
And we are going to lights, so we're going to go round 7 here at Road Atlanta in no time at all. We'll go. So that looked pretty even from everybody, and Fiona got a blinding start at the back there. That was a good view. Don't often see the back of the grid. Sam Blease forcing the issue. He wants that left-hand line, and he's got it. So he leads going into turn 1.
Yes, and how important will that be? Because everybody got a good start, didn't they? They just lurched away like it was just one creature. Zoom.
Yeah, Carl Hardy defending his position from Jamie Wilson there. Does well.
So tricky through there with cold tyres.
Yeah, look at that.
The race. Judging your pace after you just come in after hot lapping, everything's warm and you have to make that adjustment. It's dangerous. Dangerous time.
Yeah, you've just been on qualifying tyres. You don't remember what it's like sometimes to be on cold tyres if the difference is particularly dramatic. That was a nice what's that? The bone of the chop from Mark Draper there, but he's not gained on Jamie Jeffrey too much. David Johansson falling adrift of the top 3 cars just a little. Maybe it's just enough. I'm not sure. It's half a second in front of him. It's one of the biggest gaps in the field at the minute.
This is a good place to pull it back.
Yeah, this is a very forgiving chicane, so you can absolutely hang it out. And Miguel, at the minute, keeping Sam Blease very, very honest. These are previous champion of this series and reigning champion of this series in that order. And probably future champion of this series in 3rd place, because that Jason Landry is mega quick.
Yes, incredibly skillful driver. This is exciting. Look at this. It's they're doing well. You could see from the qualification times that it was going to be close. I mean, they are so consistent that even the Chinese gap will exacerbate over a period of time. But at the moment, they're clutched up like little clams.
Yeah, and Miguel's nearly the top 3 are pretty much pushing each other around corners at the moment. Further back, we've got nobody's changed position since the start, which probably means we're in for a very good race. Jamie Wilson is starting to close back in on the back of Carl Hardy, because once these gaps do form and cars start losing the toe, Alan, they'll start to become victims to one another.
Yes, we'll see. The last few weeks have shown us some really great 2-car and 3-car groups as drivers find people at their own pace and race hard together, and of course they're locked together by their own pace, so unavoidably there's great racing because these guys have already shown how fast they can go.
Yeah.
And they're trying to beat the guy who's next to them, who's the same time within hundreds of a second. So how do you get past that? How do you get away? It's just an intriguing, endlessly fascinating battle when you get these situations where the cars can pair off like that. When you get 3 cars, of course, you get another added different equation which changes the thing entirely. Instead of mano a mano, you get the 3rd car lying in wait.
Yeah.
And everybody with their eyes behind as well at that point. Because they're threatened from the rear.
Yeah, we saw that at Spa on one of the challenges. I think it was Jason Landry went from about 4th to 2nd in one turn with something that went on. And
by Mark.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And here he comes, actually. Still behind Jamie Jeffrey. But no, I mean, some of these like paired off battles and 3-car battles are more exciting than when you get massive fields full. You often don't know where to look and you can't really appreciate all the overtakes, but I do get that it's much more of a spectacle when the grid is full and you've got cars everywhere and it's an absolute melee. But yeah, Mark Draper, as you rightly pointed out, got the fastest lap on the previous lap, but Sam Blease, no toe Blease, yeah, absolutely destroyed it.
Well, he destroyed it by a full second.
Yeah, unreal, isn't it?
I know, that's his tyres now fully coming, and his car's as good as it will be now.
Yeah, so I think if I put the battle box up in a second, it'll be... Oh, it's 8 cars for first place according to SDK.
Now.
Yeah.
Who's fuel saving here then, Pete?
None of them. Was that too quick an answer? None of them. So, Sam Blease has got the fastest lap, I think, with no incidents. David Janssen has got the fastest lap overall, but it doesn't count because he's been off track clearly on a 128.955.
Goodness me.
Well, yeah, there's no room for error at the very front, and Sam Blease is making none of them. So,
well, that's the thing. He's a great front runner, though. He's Sam.
Oh yeah.
And but it's a very threatening situation, and Miguel has got that pace, hasn't he? He's got that sudden burst of speed that seems to come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And makes these miracle passes. It's a wonderful thing to see. It's not. I suppose it's not so great. You're the one that's driving flat out with your eyeballs on stalks, and he just comes zooming by you out of nowhere. But,
should be illegal.
Oh, look at this, Jamie. He's trying to get cozy with my captain. What's going on?
He's getting very, very cozy. Miguel managed to mess up turn 5 then, I think, because there's a big gap for, well, I say big gap, 3/10 for...
Now, JB's trying to catch up with these. He's motivated here. Come on, JB.
He's doing good
That's
times.
It.
He's going faster mate. He's going faster than the 3 cars in front of him, which is very impressive.
Yeah, this is great driving. Look at that. He did a beautiful job on the apron there. Look at that.
Yeah, that was nice. Beautiful. Yeah, like it. Right then, Jamie.
Such a tricky corner, and you've got to get it right.
Mark Draper is piling the pressure on here. He's gone to the right, round the outside at turn 10A, 10B.
Well, that's that just... Well, he probably did the corner a 10th quicker.
Oh, that's contact. I have to say, that did look like the car was still there, so I think that's Jamie turning in when there was no opportunity to, and Mark Draper making a mega issue of this. And he's going to get this done, in theory, because the next turn's a right, but then Jamie can hang this out. Oh, there we go again. More contact. And this is going to bring the 2 cars behind them into the fray.
Yes, and Carl won't be holding back, that's for sure.
And Jamie Jeffrey sees himself losing positions here. He's lost 3 positions in as many corners, really. And now he's got, here we go, Team Jamie. Jamie Wilson and Jamie Jeffrey again. Which is great, because we know how these guys race against each other. JB's getting in on the act.
Yeah, it's great to see JB in there now, isn't it? It's a regular visitor to these kinds of scenarios, and it's absolutely fantastic to see it.
I think JB should have gone with Jamie Jeffrey there. He's realised he should have stayed with him, and he's gone back. What does this look like from overhead? This is Jamie Jeffrey coming alongside Jamie Wilson. Let's see what happens here.
He's got a ton of toes. I mean, whatever toe there is available, he's getting plenty.
Yeah, he got blocked off there. There was a rolling roadblock of Jamie's in front of him.
Yes, I'm not quite sure how you get by these two, to be honest.
No. Jeffrey's gone a bit defensive over the top of the hill, but here comes JB. No, he shouldn't have braked, I don't think. Yeah, he should have stayed in that gas. But it's easy for me to say watching from here.
Yes. And of course, you know.
Now, what's going on here?
Not for quitting, are they?
No, this. Oh, right. Miguel has literally just been off track. Was this top of the hill? No, it was turn 1. I think.
Right,
oh, he's got his braking wrong. He's got his braking wrong. He's gone a little bit on the grass. Oh, he's gone a lot on the grass.
Well, he's very lucky that it's the new iRacing grass and not the old iRacing grass, because it'd still be there.
Well, yeah, he'd have been fitting a rotary blade onto the bottom of his car and doing the verge as he went.
But the new added friction iRacing grass is a wondrous thing, where it actually doesn't compound your mistake. It actually lets you point the car in the right direction.
Right.
And drive off.
It's a bit of a radical.
It's a very radical situation, and yes, it's a very dramatic difference when you're driving, especially if somebody like me who used to spend so much time, you know, investigating the grass deposits.
Yeah. You know, just testing the turf, really, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, but you know, I've got a bit very, very interested in all things green.
Right, this is definitely on for the top spot here. Jason Landry has just posted a 1:28.386 fastest lap.
That's just what you want to see for the person who just crept up onto your back bumper, isn't it?
No, not at all. Not even a little bit.
But you see, we've got the situation what you were speaking about, Pete. You know, the cars have paired off. I mean, the thing about it is, it gives you the chance to focus on the driving, on the racing between a couple of drivers. I mean, and it gives you a chance to see the minutiae, which normally you don't, because it's lost in the hustle and the bustle.
Yep.
And I really like it. And to be honest, we've got an educated audience. They're connoisseurs, you know, and they will appreciate this and appreciate the incredible skill on display as well.
Oh, definitely. And JB has been off track for a small excursion and has let Matt Flannery pass him as a result. But you're right. Coming out of the bone of the chop, Jason Landry's line was very, very different to Sam Blease's line. Much more wide entry into it, and as a result got a bit of a run, but not enough to do anything with it. I'm going to nip back here. No, I'm not going to nip back there because, get back to the front, Pete, come on.
Yeah.
Jason Landry at the top of the hill, not normally a place to overtake, but it takes two to make that work without dying, so well done both of them.
But this is exactly what I was just talking about. The skill to make that pass, and you're right, it takes two. And that was a fine piece of driving.
It really was.
Took that pace through that twisty, difficult, dropping away fast section at the top and carried that pace through. I'll never know, because it normally kills me going through this slowly.
Yeah, Sam was super fast through both those last two turns. I think we might see something repaid here, maybe. He's a bit far off it, but he's going to get some mega toe now, surely.
He won't want to leave it be, will he? He'll want to make a quick reply. He won't want to be sitting there in 2 laps' time, still behind. He wants to make a quick reply and keep the pressure on.
And he's done it. That was lovely. That's textbook stuff, yeah.
But he took advantage of the toe. I don't think there would be much in the pace of the cars.
No.
He made the toe work, and of course that's very difficult to reply to until situations on the other foot when on the next lap. So, Miguel's starting to look very curious.
Yeah, I mean, he had that one excursion. That's his only the only blip on his rating card, isn't it, at the minute?
So he's, this is this is a fairly dynamic trio we've got there. And these two, look at this, very nice. I love the colour matching of this.
Carl's not in his proper paint, obviously.
No, but it looks good with the black and the green against the black and the green of Mark's car.
It's nice.
It looks very threatening, suits him menacing, but very hard to menace Mark Draper.
Yeah, he's a cool customer. Nothing really phases him too much. As these guys go towards the chicane towards the end of the lap again on the back straight. If anything, that Civic's struggling on the straights and making it up in the corners, I would say.
Yeah, well, that's been
story of the car, isn't it?
Wasn't it, as well?
Yeah.
It was redlining and yeah.
He's the only one brave enough to brave the Honda now.
And it's taking all of his considerable skill to make it competitive.
Yeah. And they're all dropping, those top three cars, I should say, are dropping David Johansson, who's fallen astern by 1.3 seconds. And the other ones are...
I think, crikey.
Oh, Mark Draper round the outside for Carl Hardy. And very well controlled from Carl, I have to say.
That's very nice of Mark to
donate a position.
Donate a bit of diving for us.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll come back eventually. We'll move to the front again because this is a very hotly contested race, this one. Sam Blease has got his lead back.
David's trying very hard. This is the situation where they're inching away, but you get it a little bit back on the corner. You can leave it just slightly later. You can just claw it a little bit back, and it's twos and fro's, and you're on the edge of the string, and he's not quite broken, then not quite broken, and it's all very, very close and tense. They don't give much away, though, these guys at the front, do they?
No, they don't. I think we're going to end up with about 2, maybe 3 laps, including the one they're about to get on, which is now.
Goodness me, 28 fours.
Yeah, it's very, very fast-paced, this. Oh, and Jason Landry has got alongside
He's
Sam,
trying that again.
Oh, I'm focusing on the wrong car. Sam was kind of wise to that. He positioned his car.
He got caught before, didn't he?
Yeah, all that's done is brought David Johansson into this.
Yes. Well, I'm not surprised. David was really hanging on very well, and I thought he would make his way back. He looked like he could.
Yeah.
You've got to respect the man's pace. He's really a very fast driver.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely rapid. Let's see if those cars being closer to him are tempting to him now.
That's a 4-car. Now that's tasty as anything. And behind them we've got Hardy and Draper doing their thing, and they're both mad racers.
Yeah, and Jamie Jeffrey.
Jamie, he'll be eyeballs out busting. They've got to try and close them two down, because he wants to get in among that, doesn't he, for sure? He would. And Jamie as well, Jamie Wilson as well, if those four come together, have they got time? The clock's ticking down incredibly quickly again. Every week it's the same with these sprint races. They start and then they finish.
I think it's this lap and one more, and that's it. So Sam Blease has got himself the biggest lead he's ever had in this race, I think.
How did he manage that?
Just cleaner lines, I would say. That's the only thing it can be, right? other than Jason making a mistake, but I didn't see one. I've been watching him for long enough. Miguel's now pressurising Jason. He's probably feeling the David Johansson's breath on the back of his neck. And a little bit further back, this is going on. This is going to come to something by the end of next lap, I think.
This is, yeah.
And it's going to include 3 cars, I reckon, because Jamie Jeffrey is catching Mark Draper faster than Mark's catching Carl. So Sam Blease looks to be, unless he makes a mistake here, doing all right for himself. He's got a
He's doing very well.
Yeah, very, very well. It's like he's found a little like Knight Rider boost button or something.
Well, he didn't have the best of his weeks last week.
No, that's true.
Sam.
Yeah.
So he's probably
Barney's waving.
wanting to make a bit of a send out a message this week that he's still here and still very much making waves.
Yep. I think those 2 black and green cars of Carl Hardy and Mark Draper are definitely going to come to something. It's difficult to look away from this battle, which is a bit fragmented now. Jason Landry a little bit sideways coming through turn 5 there. And let's Sam Blease get a little bit further ahead, just a little bit. Mark Draper's lost a bit of momentum.
It can just make a bit of difference with Sam. He doesn't have to, if he's got a bit of breathing space, and nobody can judge a breathing space better than Sam.
No, fair enough.
He'll know that, a car length is time to take a breath, and you don't have to actually be right on the edge. So it's looking good for Sam, I've got to say. Yeah,
and I think this might just be the first time we've not had an impulse car on the top spot. Or did David win some? I can't remember now. I'll have to have a look back. But last few corners, I'm going to snip back very quickly to see what's happening with Mark Draper and Carl Hardy in the second, as Sam Blease takes the honours here at Road Atlanta for round 7.
Very happy, Sam.
Very, very happy. And that one stayed as it was. It got very, very close.
Well done to Carl, because it's very difficult to keep Mr. Draper behind you. Yeah. So he did well there. He did. And look at this. It's still... these cars are still... Look how close the field is together.
I know, yeah.
His feet.
Not that far behind.
No, it's fine driving.
Kept the wheel colour from Matthews Logistics, which I'm happy with.
And did fine drive for me.
Yeah, excellent.
Last night in the MX-5, she did.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, well, she's in my squad, in the Work Guard squad.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we're 3rd in the team.
Really?
In the league.
That's good.
Yeah. Oh, it's just, considering they've got me. There's 3 of us, and it's Andy, me, and Fee, Yeah.
So the first of our heats tonight, which is round 7 here at Road Atlanta, the honours go to Sam Blease, a race winner for Hydro Race Geodesic Racing, with Jason Landry in 2nd for Impulse Racing and his teammate Miguel in 3rd. That rounds out your podium. Then we've got David Johansson for Sim Racing Grid in 4th. 5th was Carl Hardy for Safeguard by result. Mark Draper did his best to get back on terms with Carl, finishing 6th for SRL. Jamie Jeffrey was trying to catch them both, finished in 7th for CCR. Jamie Wilson finished 8th for Team Chimera. Matt Flannery finished 9th for Hydro Race Geodesic Racing. JB, after a little excursion, finished in 10th place for BSTV Esports Blue. Fiona Siddons rounded out the field, 11th for Spyro by result. That was far more exciting than I expected it to be. It was.
Well, it wasn't more exciting than me. Yeah, it was. Because last week was the same, wasn't it?
I know. I keep getting surprised by this.
I don't know why you keep getting surprised, because they've been dishing it up, haven't they?
Oh yeah, and
Goodness
they'll
me.
all have relished that race.
Yeah.
They really will. Well, maybe I was going to say maybe Miguel will be like hitting himself for having that one small error, which put him back a position. But I mean, it's finite margins, really, isn't it?
Oh, crikey. There's nothing between these chaps, really. You're talking about thousandths of a second in time gaps.
Yeah.
And you're talking about next to nothing in skill and now some race experience, and what it takes to be a good racing driver.
Yeah.
Because they've all got lots of what it takes.
They do. And this time they need to know what it takes to do a pit stop. I thought Jason Landry might go for it, but he's not done. Pit stops here are not necessarily as simple as you might think. The pit lanes...
Sharp hill, isn't it?
It's very sharp. You crest the hill, you've got to get... Oh, he's doing practice starts, actually. He's trying to get off the grid better than he did last time, potentially. But you...
That's going to be odd.
Well, yeah, because it was all pretty even. There wasn't much in any of it. As David Johansson puts in some hot laps to get his tyres used to the new temperatures. Let's just have a look at the temperature change. It's gone down. Temperature's dropped. No, it's gone up. Sorry, I'm reading the wrong one again. 37 degrees we've got now. It's gone up a little bit. But yeah, you come round that penultimate corner. He's off on the grass trying to cool his tyres. Wonder if that still works. And you keep turning right, and it's quite a plunge down the hill, as you said, Alan, and it can catch you out sometimes. So there we go.
Yeah, well,
see the twitch in the car?
You've got to slow down quickly, because it's easy to misjudge the braking because you're going so shortly downhill.
And pit lane's a long pit lane here.
I
mean, goes on for quite a while.
Drivers have been known to nod off, and it's phone calls, stockbrokers are ringing up their dealers. It's all happening.
David Ayres has joined us. Good evening to David.
Good evening, David.
Yeah, if you missed the first race, you missed a very hotly contested race in multiple places in the field, even though the field's not massive tonight. Just a few more seconds before this session ticks over into the feature race. Just another reminder.
I'm looking forward to this race.
It's going to be good, this. It's going to be good.
Well, we've got everybody at the back, and we've got a full reverse, presumably.
Full reverse, yep.
Wow.
So Fiona will lead the field away on one of the trickiest lap ones you can do on any racetrack. Leading up to that chicane at the top of the hill, it's pretty lethal running. So let's see how Fiona fares as the field get onto the back of her car.
Scary old start, isn't it?
It can be, yeah. I've led the field away here before in a bizarre twist of fortunes, and it is kind of scary. As we trip over, and I should be able to get you, once my keyboard stops flashing checkered, the grid for this second race.
It's okay when everybody's trying to come past you. You just crest that hill and you're trying to make around that corner, and everybody's trying to come past you too wide. They always pick. That's just exactly where they catch you, just at the worst possible place.
I'll read what David's just said, and I'll try not to laugh while I say this. So Fiona Siddons will lead the field away. JB will be on the front row next to her. I'm going to have to do this quickly. Matt Flannery, then Jamie Wilson, Jamie Jeffrey, Mark Draper, Carl Hardy, David Johansson, Miguel Freitas, Jason Landry, and the first race winner tonight was Sam Blees, and he's making them wait again. He's not bothered about making them wait either. David Ayres says, sorry you missed the first race, there was a house fire a few doors down. He's been trying to keep Scary Mary away from the firemen. So we are going green for round 8.
Here we go.
Oh, there was a slow car. I think it was Carl Hardy, middle of the field. It was, and he's getting overtaken at the minute by Miguel. Cars all over the track. They're spanning the full track.
Very unfortunate.
Yeah, Fiona not away quickly compared to the cars around her, but the cars around her are very, very quick. Let's have a look and see what's going on. Who is that? That's Miguel. And Fiona's doing a fantastic job, actually, of driving her own race, staying out of the trouble.
It's right. So, they all come just as you're going through that first really tricky complex. You've got cold tyres, and everybody comes hurtling by you. Yeah. It's a situation I'm very familiar with, and it's scary, but we're fortunate that actually everybody's very, very good driver.
Yes.
Including Fee, and everybody knows about holding a line and can do it under duress, which is it's quite a skill.
Yeah, and here goes David Johansson. He's already up 3 places, as is Miguel chasing him. Obviously, one gifted by Fiona, as Jamie Wilson has a good shot at the race lead. He did this last time. He was leading the race, if you remember.
Yeah, well, JB's getting stuck in luck. And he was quick in that first race, and it was unfortunate. So, yeah, it's showing some really good pace.
Yeah, it's starting to choke up behind these 2. And Jamie Jeffrey, nice line through there. Ooh, a little bit of a touch. He got a bit of curb and it punted him wide. JB probably won't have seen that. He'll have just felt the contact, so he's probably a bit annoyed. Potentially, he's kind of come across the front. Oh, in fact, Jamie Jeffrey, I think, has surrendered the position to him. Has he? No, that's a proper fight, actually. Oh, and JB's taking the scenic route. That'll be a penalty slowdown. He's having to get out of the way, and he's going to have to burn this slowdown pretty quick, actually. That'll let Jamie Jeffrey get away now from David Johansson.
Unfortunate for JB.
Yeah, sad for JB. Manna from heaven for everybody else that's passing him right now. Sam Blees.
Well, it's gone, so let's hope he can get on and get in the toe.
Yeah, Sam Blees in no real rush. He's playing a cool customer card at the moment.
Well, they went off very hard, and I think, people see the advantage of trying to make early gains in the reverse grid game. Because if they can make some early gains here, you can just hold on. You don't know, you might get lucky, and who knows how long you can hold on for.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we've seen in the first race just how difficult it is to get by when you've got one of these drivers in front of you, entrenched in his rhythm, holding his line, very hard to get by. So trying to make moves early on and take advantage of people maybe being a bit hesitant, cold tyres, start the race, wanting to be careful. Maybe it's a good strategy. It's risky, but it can pay dividends, can't it?
It can. Jamie Wilson has got the biggest lead that anybody's had in the last race on this one. 1.82 seconds.
His time.
I know. He's absolutely eclipsed the rest of the field.
Second and a half quicker than that. Well, that's where his gap comes from. That's the second and a half gap. Fantastic driving by Jamie. He's not, but we've seen him do this before.
Yes, we have.
I've seen him do this. Well, we've both seen him do this a number of times now. In fact, it's not just once. I've seen him driving away on the when he's got reverse grid to the front. We've seen him do this quite a lot and make it very difficult for people to get by him.
Yeah,
we've seen long defences, haven't we, where he's actually maintained it for quite a long time.
Yeah, Miguel passed David Johansson on the last lap at the stone corner that it looks like Jason Landry's going to. Certainly close. A little bit of contact, David.
Give a bit of room, guys.
Another nudge. I don't know whether David is struggling with a little bit of contact that he got on the first lap. We'll soon find out because he'll be in at lap 6. Lap 6 is the magic lap, isn't it? And this is Miguel picking him up and putting him down behind him. This is for second place, this.
He's flying.
Yeah.
I mean, he was at the back.
That's a multi-21, I think, there from Sam Blees and Matt Flannery.
Well, I hope so. Matt can hang on to Sam and get a bit of toe and a bit of help.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
It would. Get him some points on the board. Yeah. And a bit of a morale boost. Carl Hardy in the thick of it again.
Yeah, where's Mark?
Yeah, where is Mark? Why is he so far back? What have I missed? I missed this. So he's in... Oh, he's at the back of this queue.
He was trying to close the gap. He was trying to close this little gap. I bet you.
Oh, he's got onto the brakes very hard. It's actually the best he could have hoped for, given that circumstance, because...
wow, he was nearly in the tyres, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. Very, very nearly.
Wicked little dangerous corner.
But Fiona's got somebody to race with now. As we watch Carl Hardy putting pressure on Matt Flannery again.
He goes flying.
He is absolutely eating up that gap to Jamie Wilson. It was 1.8 seconds, it's now 3/10 and dropping.
So, you know, Jamie was well aware of what he was doing. He was busking a gut to try and make that early break and get away, and just become invisible, just over the horizon, out of sight, out of mind, kind of thing.
Oh, David Johansen sideways going around turn 5.
Well, don't do that, David.
No, not with some bleeds breathing down your neck. There's battles everywhere at the minute. Jamie Jeffrey has Jason Landry for company. Race lead is going to be contested very, very shortly, if not right now, actually.
Oh, crikey. Yes, well, I don't think he's going to be able to withstand Miguel.
Well, Miguel's overtaken on the wrong side, but look at the overspeed. That can only be a better line onto that straight. There we go, and the
Jamie's
nicely done. Nicely done. It's going on behind as well. Jason Landry's going to get a mega drive here on the inside of Jamie Jeffrey.
Jamie won't want to give this up.
No. Oh, I don't think there was any contact. And Jamie Jeffrey's going to carry greater momentum around the outside. And he should cut across the front here, yeah. Oh, he's gone sideways and he's lost the back end. Just a bit of hot tyres, that's all that was.
He did very well to keep it under control.
He really did.
That could have been so easily faced in the wrong way round.
Yeah, from one series of pressures to the next, because that's Sam Blees now that's on him.
These cars are racing hard here, Pete.
Very.
You can tell by the posture of the cars
I know,
just how hard they're going at it.
I mean, David Johansen going sideways at turn 5 the previous lap shows you the edge that they are racing on right now. In fact, he's just been overtaken. He's been off track, hasn't he? Was that the same bit? I think it possibly wasn't. He's gone off at turn 1.
Oh,
has he got crossed up again? He has.
Oh, it's so easy.
I mean, he's only had...
so easy.
Yeah, he's done a Miguel. That's what Miguel did in the first race.
Well, it's nice to see these chaps do. I do it on nearly every race. At some point.
Oh, and I've literally just missed the pass for the lead.
Well, there's a kind of inevitability about it, but I'm keen to see Jamie hang on here and not let him get gapped.
Yeah.
Because he's going to have to fight for it.
He's clearly got pace, hasn't he? Oh, I'm going to have to go live very quickly. So it was a turn 1 overtake just ahead of what we were watching. Nice and tight as you like. Right, Sam Blees has done what he's done every race so far. He's jumped in on, is this lap 6 by any chance? Lap 7, so the end of lap 6.
Yeah. So,
yeah, he's done it every race.
Run home, so let's see. God, I hope he's not depending on saving a bit of fuel, because this really is going to be difficult.
Yeah, Carl Hardy round the outside here of Matt Flannery, and he's made that look. Ooh, that's a lot of contact. That was quite heavy contact.
Oh, we'll do it. The cars are okay. That was maybe enough to do a bit of suspension damage.
Yeah, we may see Matt Flannery in this lap, because the fronts of the cars seem to take the damage the worst. JB.
Yes, we've got the cumulative effect there, haven't we?
Yes.
I was a victim of that last night.
Right. Here comes JB on an overtake on Carl Hardy. I'm looking at the wrong car again. I'm not going to make it happen this time. Is Matt Flannery going to the pits? He isn't. He's carrying on. But other cars are. So Jamie Wilson and David Johansson have both gone to pit road.
Oh, that's interesting.
Jamie Wilson doing the pit lane properly. He's in the outside lane until he gets 2 stalls away and then drops into his pit box.
What's you knowing that, Pete?
Oh, I know. It's shocking what I know. I just hide it well.
So they're going to come out together.
I think they will.
Just about.
Yeah. Oh no, Jamie Wilson's well ahead.
Oh, was that because he had less fuel to put in, or
no,
what?
I think
it
was
like?
Just the gap. Was that anyway? They're almost identical.
Right.
So, if anything, Jamie was ever so slightly slower in his pit lane time.
Right. So he's going to be pedal to the metal, and let's see what happens. Exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah.
Great. Look at JB. How fantastic is this to stay in 5th and really, giving Carl a hard time.
That excursion that he went on in the last race didn't help him at all. It just dropped him really far down the field. This is much better from JB.
Yeah. Well, once you're out, once you especially when you've been doing really well and in the thick of it, you're excited, your heart's pumping, and you're really involved, and then suddenly you're off the back. It's very disappointing.
Yes.
And it can, that drop of spirit just for a few minutes, it's like till you can pick yourself back together, it can cost you. So JB's driving exceptionally well in the last few weeks.
Yeah, definitely. Is definitely a changed driver. He's very clean lines. There's quite a few drivers that have improved over the course of this season, and I do wonder whether it's because they've got room to race, if that makes sense. Right.
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
Certainly they cheat by job with people who have got immaculate lines.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I have one good idea a year, so now I need to sleep after that one. What's going on back here? So this is Jamie has now been caught by Sam Blees. And they are both catching Fiona. We'll come back to that because I'm just going to run through. Miguel is your race leader. His teammate.
Impulse guys.
Yeah, they have taken the lead of this race. Jamie Jeffrey is trying to get on terms with them. We're just going to go back and look at these overtakes here. I think that's Fiona. Staying in the gas, but staying out of the tussle.
She'll try and break behind, so
there we
she's
go.
not in the way.
Very nice. And these two can then race freely. And this is a very hotly contested pair of corners, and that's lovely from both of them. Sam may get his nose in front for turn last turn. He's staying with him. He's staying with him.
This is great being able to concentrate on these battles like this. I so enjoy this.
That was brilliant.
This is great stuff. Not Pete's really trying hard to stay up. You can.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to? Your eyeballs out. You're so involved in the race. You're hot and sweaty already, and it's the pitch of the thing, and you just want to stay up. You want to drive faster. You're willing your car forward.
Oh, that was a bit super wide from Jamie Wilson. Hopefully he's not picked up the slowdown that you can achieve way out there. I think you have to be a little bit further than that though. Right, so this is brewing. This is JB and Matt Flannery with
this is great. They've got somebody to have a real battle with, haven't they? This is great for the pair of them. It is, and it's not very far to Captain Hardy there.
No, it's not. He is pulling away ever so slightly each lap. Even then, he was half a second faster than the pair of these guys.
Unbelievable consistency these days.
Yep. Really good. And very healthily, Jamie Wilson not letting Samblees get away. In fact, contesting for first of the pit stoppers. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Jamie's got absolutely nothing to lose here. He's got everything right in front of him.
Yep, he really does. The only issue for these two, I think, is that the top three cars that haven't pitted yet, so that's Miguel, Jason and Jamie Jeffrey, are turning faster laps than these guys at the minute. What that'll do after the pit stops, I'm not sure.
Well, that's this is hard because these guys are racing and having fun.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, the logic should be keep your car out there as long as possible because you're on lower fuel for longer, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that makes sense to me. It's always made sense to me to do that. The longer you can be out there with a light car, the better. And
Jamie Jeffrey having a bit of a lonely one.
Tyre. Less tyre wear with less weight, and you can go faster quite often. At the end of your fuel load, you're going to do your fastest laps.
I do like the way that Jamie Wilson's car's behaving at the minute. It seems very, very planted. More so, you would argue, than the Elantra in front of him.
Yes.
They do need to watch out, though, because this boy, David Johansen, is turning faster laps than the pair of them at the minute.
Yeah. Well,
gaining rapidly.
I think it suits this circuit suits that car.
The Veloster. Yeah.
I've driven both of those cars around here.
I don't think I've ever driven the Elantra. I've driven the Honda and obviously the Audi, if it ever features again, and the Veloster.
I think I've driven more at one time. But I always preferred the Elantra, but I couldn't split them when I was driving. When they first came out, when the Veloster first came out, I was trying them. I couldn't split them on time.
Right.
Testing at the same circuit,
Yeah.
That's the thing. They're different cars, and they do better at different circuits. They do.
This is coming to a boil now, this one. That's what 2/10 looks like for these two. Not very much between them, and they are trading off lap time for lap time.
Yeah, they won't want this to stop.
No.
This is absolutely why they're here, and they will be eating this up. Two long-time drivers in the league. Experienced, old hands at it, and my word, massively. I bet they don't want to get out that seat because that's a lot of fun.
Massively different lines going into turn 5.
Well, there's a variety of different lines in use around here.
Yeah, Matt Flannery just got caught out by himself there. I think he outbraked himself a little bit.
I'm not seeing nobody using my line, Pete, to be honest. Yeah, I'm glad they haven't wised up to that.
So Jason Landry, ever so slightly chipping away at Miguel Freitas' lead as we approach the halfway mark of this race already.
Oh, he's taken another 100th of a second off him, Pete.
Yeah, he has.
Miguel will be shitting a brick. Oh, which reminds me.
Go on.
My superstar David and his fantastic performance on Monday night in the Clio Cup.
Tell everybody about that. Yeah.
David, absolutely superb performance with a genuine third position. He was on the podium in the main race, and it was absolutely brilliant performance by him. And we're thrilled for him, absolutely thrilled. Yeah, great drive, and he won the AM, of course, that AM race as well. But yeah, great third position by him.
Very well done.
Well done, David. He's one of ours, and we love him.
Hopefully he'll rejoin this league. Next season we're going to go Pro and Am. It's been asked for a lot lately, so no reason to hold off any longer. Not going to work for this season, but see how we get on for the next one, as David Johansen has now caught Jamie Wilson. So Jamie's eyes turn to his rearview mirror rather than out the front of the windscreen.
Well, this just Sam's just breaking this string, isn't he? So this isn't going to ease Jamie's frame of mind. Seeing Mr. Johansson looming large, he's got somebody else who's unbelievably quick to contend with now. He's just had to beat with Sam Please for a good 20 laps. Now he's going to 20 laps with Mr. Johansson. Go on, Jamie.
Jamie got a bit too deep into that chicane section, and David didn't, and as a result got a much more smooth line through that area, and got a massive drive on Jamie, leaving it and up and over the hill for the penultimate and final corners. Very nicely done from David there.
It was a bad, got that curve really badly.
Yeah, it's lethal. If you get it a bit wrong, it punts you way offline.
Very uncomfortable. So, Jamie's got his work cut out actually, because Mr. Johansson's unbelievably rapid. He's Sam's pace, and Sam's already got into Jamie. So, but Jamie's will be driving hard and doing his very, very best. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, hang on there, he's not doing his case any harm at all. The longer he can stay with somebody of David's pace.
Oh, so it's beginning to brew here as well. That's a nice line from Matt Flannery there. I don't know what he can do with it going down the hill here into the last corner and over the line.
Oh, he's forcing JB into being defensive, isn't he? He's driving with one eye out the back window.
Yeah. JB sticks to his lines though, which is the right thing to do when you've got that kind of pressure. As soon as you come off your lines, do a bit of defending, you start making mistakes.
Yes, absolutely. You just need to make your car just that little bit wider, just slightly, but
Just fended off Matt Flannery on that occasion at least.
He's doing a very, very fine job. We like it very much.
Quite a lot of air in front of Carl Hardy, 8 seconds of it to get to these two. Jamie Wilson chasing David Johansen.
Who's not been in the pits now then, Pete?
Who's not been in the pits? Quite a lot of drivers actually. The top 6. So Miguel and Jason Landry. Jamie Jeffrey, who is some way back from them now. They have absolutely legged it from him. JB, who is again a good portion of time behind and in close company. He's got Matt Flannery and then an ever-closing Mark Draper.
They've got to deal with him, aren't they?
He's turning very fast laps compared to them, actually. He's shaving off big chunks of time.
Is that somebody going in the pits?
It was Matt Flannery, and he hit the wall.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure he hit the wall.
It's easy to do.
Oh yeah, look at the front of his car.
Yeah, you can see it, goodness, Well,
I told you that pit lane entry, whilst it looks innocent, it's a bit vicious. So he's stuffed it in here. He's got a bit on the grass and straightened his car up. I mean, if you're gonna crash into a wall, that's the place to do it, isn't it? Seconds before you can repair the car. That's quite a lot of damage there, though.
That was a good hit, that was. I wouldn't have enjoyed that.
I think it'll have definitely shook his fillings out a little.
Still, he's back on the road, and his car will be
it'll be immaculate again. Such is the magic of a fast repair in this series. I always think of it that you've jumped in the spare car as opposed to repairing the car you've got, so not quite right because you've got tyres involved. Although
don't you have a little wizard with a magic wand?
Yeah, that's the alternative view.
Truffle dust. Can't beat it. Well, it's no wonder these two got away. You know, as soon as these two got together, they were going to gap anybody, I would suggest.
Yeah.
Because they don't have to look out behind, do they? They can just let themselves give in to their natural urges.
Yeah. Hopefully we won't see Mark Draper taking tyres. Hopefully that was reserved just for...
Mark wouldn't do that to us again, would he?
No. It was hopefully it was a one-race thing. David Ayres says thank you to you, and he's looking forward to the Backfire Pro-Am next season, so that's good. Oh, I just heard somebody off track. I don't know who it would be. It wasn't Fee. I don't know who it was. Who would that be? 173, who's that? Carl? No? Oh well. Sounded like somebody rumbling over the grass, but can't find anybody, so it must not happen. Right then. Now we're left with 4 that have not gone to pit road. These being the first 2. Excuse me. Not going again. Jamie Jeffrey. Still turning very nice laps.
Yes, well, in the early 29s and sometimes the late 28s, it's very fine driving by everybody. But, you know, Miguel and David and Jason, they're just, these 28s, they never do anything else.
No.
Just unbelievably consistent, fine driving.
Yeah.
And it wasn't going to cheer everybody up when they got to the front of the race, that's for sure.
No, I do feel because they've been doing such clean and clear laps that they're going to pop out head and shoulders ahead of most of the field, unless Sam Blease has managed to get any advantage from being out in clean air here. David Johansson's keeping him honest. He's not that far behind, really. It's only 2 seconds.
Well, David, I would think he's got the pace to actually close the gap with Sam.
Yeah, well, we'll keep an eye on that.
Keep an eye on it because he's motivated to try, and I wonder if Sam's looking behind or if he's just ignoring it and just got his head down and doing his fastest laps and thinking, well, let him do what he can.
Jason Landry bags himself some lead lap points here. Sorry, carry on.
There you go, it's gone in the pits.
He has.
So they split it.
Yeah, they split the tactic. Where will Sam Blease show compared to where Miguel is at the minute? I think Miguel's got plenty of time under his belt.
Oh, they've been going very quickly, haven't they? Mind you, there's JB.
Yeah, and there's Sam. So this is looking like a 6-second lead for Miguel over these guys. Oh no, it's coming down, 5 seconds. There is Miguel. Miguel's over the brow of the hill. And then through the S's. And there's Sam. Now we saw at the end of the first race, Sam, he managed to get his car into a place where it was performing very, very well. It must be to do with tyre heat. We saw him weaving in qualifying, didn't we?
And
just
once his tyres are hot, he'll have a good setup.
Yes.
We know that he'll have a loose setup, but he'll make it go fast once it's got heat in his tyres and be quick. For sure.
Jason
And it's interesting to me they've split instead of coming in together.
Yeah, because you're going to lose toe somewhere, aren't you? But they maybe just wanted a clear pit road. I know I don't like it when I'm pitting with other people. I struggle to find my own pit box at the best times, even on an empty pit road.
A big flood of people now. It says must be getting to 30 minutes on the clock.
David Ayres is asking about the Pro-Am for next season, how we'll make the points work. They'll be distinct AM and Pro titles, as Jamie Jeffrey's going to rejoin. Oh, he's not, is he? He's going to rejoin at exactly the same point as Jamie Wilson. There is Jamie Wilson right behind him. Honestly, these guys need to get a room. There'll be distinct class structure there, so you'll race for the Pro Series or the AM Series, and you'll get promoted up or demoted down as per the previous series. That seems to be how I would like to run it. Usually we'll stick a stake halfway through the field or something like that on either iRating or previous performances, and designate you as Pro or AM to start the ball rolling. Hopefully we don't get too many tears on that topic.
Well, it's a flexible thing. Well, you know, and if you put in the AM thing, then it gives you a. To me, to me, it's a good thing to work for and a great reward for winning the AM Championship.
Yep, agree.
Yeah. And it might well be that you might find that the pace is too hot in the Pro Championship, and that you're happy to get demoted down next season.
Yep. We've had Sam Blease leave the track and rejoin. I think he got a slowdown for it, and I think this is him losing his position. Yeah, he's got out of the way and rejoined him behind David. Let's just see what happened to him. And that battle's on now, actually. Probably shouldn't be looking at this. He's gone wide at turn 1 like so many others, hasn't he? Watch the car get unbalanced and
it's just
straight up on him. Yep.
And slightly wide.
Only slightly as well. They've all done the same sort of thing.
All done it. It just goes to show you've got to be that slight bit wide though, because you really do need to be right against that curb.
Yep. So after all pit stops, because everybody's been to pit road now, Miguel Freitas is your race leader. He leads by not very much at all at the moment. 0.6 of a second over Jason Landry, his teammate. Then there's a big jump to these two. It's a 7-second jump, but these guys are all paired up now as well. Then there's another 6-second jump back to Jamie Jeffrey, who we've just seen has Jamie Wilson for company. So they're going to get together soon as well. So the top 6 positions are all paired off. And we saw this last time, didn't we?
Yeah, and well, how far away from Carl is Mr. Draper?
Mr. Draper actually is about 4 seconds adrift. I thought it would be closer because Mark was doing some very, very blistering fast times. But that wasn't to be.
He's in the 28s now, comfortable in the 28s. He is, so he must be cutting down. Carl's in the 29s.
Yeah, it is starting to slide down. I'm just going to have to nip back to this because Sam Blease very much on it again.
Well, there's a podium at stake here.
There is, and good points as well. And these
they'll
two
be relishing this, won't they? I mean, regardless of the points, this is a battle of the giants.
Oh, yeah. I'm just trying to find out where my cursor is because I wanted to see standings TCR Cup, because I think these two are going to be at it all season. So David Johansson at the minute is on 364 points. Sam Blease is on 333 points. With the victory in the last race and David not scoring quite as high as he probably would have hoped, that's probably about even now with this race to pay. So I think they're going to be very, very close, depending on the off tracks and such, which work against you in this league. Right, so
they won't care. This is exciting driving for them because they're both very, very worthy drivers, and they'll relish this battle.
Yeah. So let's have a look at what David's saying. So he's saying that in the Clio League you get scored on the points you score in your subdivision. So if you're first, you score maximum points if you're in AM, and you score maximum points if you're in Pro. Yeah, I don't know that our point structure works like that. I'm going to have to go and investigate. I think it's scored on the points where you score in your position in the overall race. But that does lead to the opposite of what Dave's described there. It means that pro drivers and AM drivers will race one another. We'll see. It's all up in the air at the minute. And,
right, oh yeah, well that's a very big difference in philosophy.
it is, yeah.
But that's something for the drivers to talk about as well, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
That's one of the nice things about the Backfire family.
Yeah.
Intelligent, helpful people who are happy to make a contribution and look after things.
Alright, we've got 2 burning battles now. Oh, and this one's on right now.
Well,
The Jamies. This is Jamie Wilson. He's caught Jamie Jeffrey. And he's forcing this issue. Yeah, the other battle, Samblees and David Johansen, equally as hot right now. And even the lead is getting a bit tasty. Oh, David Johansen sideways again at turn 5. And he's lost out. He'll pick that up though, I think.
Yeah, he'll get it back. Jackie, Pete, you made me forget my whiskey again.
Oh, did I? Sorry.
Well, that's delicious, but it's got had plenty of time to get to room temperature, that's why.
Yeah.
Racing's too good, you chaps.
So, lead is come down to half a second just. Well, it's gone up a little bit just as I switch to them.
Their times just don't seem to change.
No.
Lap after lap, it seems to be 28.3, 28.3, No, it's sort of 28.2 now, they're starting to 28.
Yeah, Jason Landry, yeah, he's starting to put his foot down now. And David Johansen is doing the same behind Samblees.
We're going to do a 27.
I think we did we see or did we miss this exchange? It was happening at the same time as the Jamies. So Samblees squeezes himself round the outside.
Oh, what a move!
Yeah, that was
Is he going to get away with this?
We joined this about here before, and this is where David gets crossed up leaving turn 5 at this turn. Oh, he got a big bump off that previous curb is what put his car off. Yeah.
Well, to be honest, I'm not sure that Sam didn't deserve it after that incredibly brave attack.
Brilliant, wasn't it? Yeah.
Fantastic. Good. I love this. Where you get this intensity of these great battles going on, it's just fantastic. Because these guys know how to race. They do, and when they're like this, because they want to scrap. I mean, okay, they're in a league and there's a championship and there's a cup and a banner on offer and everything. It matters, but the racing matters more.
I think so, and the types of guys that are in this league just love to race. Particularly these two. Jamie Jeffrey, Jamie Wilson. Oh, white flag. Good grief, that crept up on me. Can you believe
I was ready
last lap?
Yeah, I was ready because I saw the clock at 37 minutes.
Oh, did you? What is this?
Even I could work out that only 3 minutes to go. Yes.
No. So Jamie's a battling. David Johansen's caught back up with Samblees now, and he's going to have to put his foot down to catch him properly. And then these two.
Mark Draper's still just a couple of hundreds faster than Carl. They're both in the 28s. They're both driving great
big
laps.
Gap though, big gap.
Yeah. Yes, Carl's been managing to stave him off. Yes,
Right.
They're both driving unbelievably well, but it's like Mark is catching up, but it's like hundreds of seconds. It's like the hundredth of a second per lap. It's going to take a while.
It is. So Up and over the hill for the last time.
Come on, guys, bring it home.
Team Impulse Racing and
Yet
Miguel.
again,
yeah,
we've seen those two cars, but they do look very pretty together.
Brilliant racing from those two. Absolutely stunning. Sam Blees managed to stay ahead of David Johansen after all of that. And the two Jamies stayed in the same positions despite all the squabbling and super competitive racing. Carl Hardy not far behind them in the end, you know.
No, well,
and Mark Draper.
Oh, it's a pity they didn't just get together.
Yeah.
I don't want cold.
Nice racing. Yeah. Nice racing.
Yeah. I bet that was good fun for Mark trying to chase Cole down.
Yeah.
Because they would have been having combos.
I think JB's had a great race tonight. And Matt Flannery must have enjoyed himself. I mean, he was on screen as much as the guys at the front, racing around. And Fiona has already finished. She was just over a lap down, I think.
It's 59 seconds.
Yeah. So,
not bad after 40 minutes of them locked.
No,
My word.
Yeah, she was literally just one lap down. Wow. I don't know what I'm going to do for driver of the meeting.
Crikey,
I'm a bit lost at the minute on that.
Yes. It gets harder.
It does. Head says Sam Blees. Or maybe, I don't know. Jenny Jeffrey was very competitive, seemed to keep it all nice and clean. In the second race, he didn't move from 5th position, if you take my point. He just stayed there. People went past him in both directions, and he started 5th and finished 5th, and I think that's a really good result. But, I don't know. I'm going to have to think about that.
It's a tough one, matey.
It really is. Right.
With a short grid, it just gets harder.
Yeah, it really
because
does.
When you've got drivers like the Impulse guys who are just whacking in double victories every week.
I know, yeah. They are some sort of skill, though, aren't they? Good grief.
Well, fantastic to watch.
So, your race winner for the feature race here at Road Atlanta was Miguel Freitas, no stranger to winning races for Impulse Racing. His teammate Jason Landry finished second. Third, and rounding out the podium, Sam Blees for Hydro Race Geodesic Racing. And then we had David Johansen finished fourth. We had that was for Sim Racing Grid. Jamie Jeffrey finished fifth for Coupes and Convertibles Racing, or CCR. Sixth was Jamie Wilson for Team Chimera. Carl Hardy finished seventh for Safeguard by Result. Mark Draper was eighth for SRL. JB DeJu, ninth for BSTV Sports Blue. 10th was Matt Flannery for Hydro Race Geodesic Racing. And Fiona Siddons was 11th for Spyro by Result. Ignore your graphic, I just haven't changed it properly. I thought that was a brilliant pair of races. That was just really good. So entertaining.
Yeah, just quality, Pete. We're spoiled. It's just quality drivers, and you give quality drivers a quality racetrack, and you're going to get quality racing, and that's what we get. And it's small, and it's like a Campbell's condensed soup. It is.
I've never heard it described as that before, but yes, I get your point. Absolutely get your point. Right, let me set this up ready for doing some interviews. There we go. Let's see if there's anybody wanting to speak to us at the minute. Yes, there's quite a few, to be honest. Right, how are we going to do this then? First and third, second.
I'm going to sit here and
you
this.
Yeah, let's get started. I think we're going to bring in some Blees for our first interviews. Alan, you drink your whiskey. Good evening, Sam.
Good evening, guys.
Good evening, Sam.
Yeah, what have you done to your car? It's a bit quick, isn't it?
Well, it was alright in race 1. It wasn't quite so good in race 2.
Yeah. So, race 1. Well, let's talk about qualifying first. You dropped out of line a couple of times. In order to heat your tyres, did you have problems with the rears?
No. So partially that was about heating the rears, but partially it was also about making sure I had the right amount of gap in front of me, so that I wasn't going to get held up on the next lap and I had the best toe.
Oh, okay.
So it was just a bit, if I needed to gain an extra 10th or 2, I'd just do a swerve rather than lift off, because it's sometimes easy to judge that way.
No, that makes a lot of sense, actually. I've never considered that before, but then I'm pretty stupid. And in race 1, you got away, and as you went through the stint, or through the race rather, you got a bit quicker towards the end and managed to gap the guys behind you. Yes, they were having a little bit of a tussle, but nothing massive. But your lap times just seemed to improve and improve and improve.
Yeah, they did. I think my car was right on the limit of too aggressive for that temperature.
Okay.
So it worked really nicely in race 1, but then I had the same setup in race 2, and it was 3 or 4 degrees hotter, and I was really struggling. I was cooking the front left through turn 1, so I was understeering quite a lot through there, but then I was also overheating it, and it was really struggling then down the S's, and I just didn't quite have that same level of balance. I think it was just a little bit too much camber, a little bit too much toe at the front. It was just the other side of where I wanted it to be, whereas race 1 was just the right side of it, and the only change I could see was the temperature.
Yeah, and we saw you do one little excursion in the second race at turn 1.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. You want to put a rotary blade on the bottom, see if you can do the lawn round here at Road Atlanta next time.
Well, I've got the splitter nice and low, so it's
it's just chopping it straight off.
Yeah, I have to come into the pit to get it sharpened before I do.
Yeah, we saw that. We saw Matt Flannery, I think, get into the wall on his entry to pit road. I don't know whether you were in the same chat as him at that point.
Yeah, I was.
I bet there was some choice language coming out of his mouth for that one. But yeah, he had a reasonable night's racing, to be honest. He was in the thick of it with quite a few people. But you couldn't quite shake Jason Landry in the first race. He stayed with you for such a long time. Or was it Miguel before his mistake?
It was both. It was Miguel and then it was Jason,
Yeah. You must have Impulse Racing's, colour scheme burned into your retinas from looking in the mirrors and seeing that. But yeah, great racing again, and you seem to have found a good deal of extra pace in that Elantra, especially in race 1, like you're saying, with those temperatures being optimised for the car. In race 2, everybody else seemed to make a massive dash for the front, and you had a much more calm and collected approach to making your way through the field. Or was it that you were getting blocked at certain points?
It was a bit of both, so I wasn't trying to take any risks. I was planning to pit early anyway, but that strategy only really works when everyone else is stuck in traffic.
Right.
But Miguel and Jason, they were pretty much through it by the time I pitted. It still made sense for me because I had, I think, both Jamies in front of me that I would have lost a bit of time fighting compared to Miguel and Jason. Mm-hmm. So, I think it was still a right call, but I just fundamentally wasn't quite quick enough in that second race. The car just wasn't quite where I wanted it to be. But yeah, in general, I'm much happier in the Elantra than I was last season.
Oh, good.
I think it helps that some of the endurance stuff's started back up again. So we're doing IVRA, we did Daytona at the weekend, had a podium there. So I'm spending a bit more time in the car. We're doing a bit more setup work on it as well. Which, although it's not directly, here in Daytona are quite different tracks. You still sort of get a feel for it, and you get in the groove of how the car reacts to a certain change. So, yeah, it helps to just have a bit more seat time and putting a bit more into it at the moment.
Well, congratulations on your podium at Daytona. That's quite a scalp, that. Anybody you'd like to have a shout out to before we let you go and practice for? I read it before and I've forgotten. Oh, it's Zandvoort. It's the Champion's Choice next time out.
Oh, nice. Well, just thank you to everyone who showed out. It was still, smaller grid, unfortunately, but still really good racing up and down and some good battling. It was nice and clean. I had a particularly good battle with Jason, so thanks to him, and Jamie Wilson as well in the second race. That was good fun too.
Yeah.
So everyone for coming out, everyone who's watched it, and you guys for putting it on, because we wouldn't be here without you. And it's always entertaining to watch that back tomorrow. So I will look forward to doing just that.
Yeah, well, you'll see lots of footage of yourself as we thank you for your night's racing, and you can go and celebrate your first and third places tonight. Sam, please, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. I'll see you next week.
Yeah, good night for Sam, really.
Yeah, very, very good night for Sam, I would say.
Nice to see him get a win, wasn't it?
It was. And also getting a win tonight in the feature race was Miguel Freitas. Good evening.
Hello, hello.
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 Right. Let me find you on the track so that all the fans at home can see you in that resplendent Impulse Racing livery. Race 1. Was that the one where you made a little mistake and got overtaken by your teammate and shuffled into third, and then under a lot of pressure actually from David Johansson for quite a long time?
Yeah, I made a mistake. I got out on turn 1 and then had a very bad rejoin right in front of David and damaged his car. And
right.
Yeah,
I did wonder.
Yeah, I talked with him. He had front suspension damage from that, so yeah, he was struggling after that. So yeah, it was bad on my side. I was trying to keep it tight and slowing down so everyone could go on the outside, but yeah, looking back at it, I just pretty much braked on the racing line, so that was not good.
Right, I didn't see your brake lights come on personally, but I did see the contact because David ended up making contact with the rear of your car. And as I said at the time to Alan, the fronts of these cars fold a lot easier than the rears do. So yeah, I'm not surprised he had some sort of damage. But notwithstanding that, let's talk about race 2, because you got through the field very, very quickly. You weren't messing about tonight. Carved your way through pretty fast. You were pretty much toe to toe with David Johansson for the first couple of laps. And then decided, I'm going to go after that Jamie Wilson boy. And you absolutely munched up the gap to him and then passed him in brilliant fashion. That was such a clean overtake.
Yeah, race 2 was awesome. One of the best races I had recently. I knew the Honda was struggling on top speed, and my only chance would be to create a gap between me and the field. So this time around, I decided to go very aggressive from the start. The tires warmed up quite quickly, so I was in a good place. And yeah, every time I had a chance, I had to really go for it and force the overtake, because on the back straight, I couldn't just make the moves. I had no top speed, so I had to use a little bit of imagination around the track to do
it. I'm using that line at some point in the future. I'm going to use imagination to achieve stuff.
Yeah.
We saw your Honda's lack of straight line speed on that back straight when your own teammate was munching away the gap to the back of your car. He was very, very fast and kept you very honest tonight, Jason, didn't he?
Yeah, we were supposed to have a battle in the end, but like 2 or 3 laps to go, he came up on the voice chat and asked, do you want to finish 1-2 or do you want the battle? and everyone was telling, just battle hard. but yeah, in the last 2 laps, I had pretty much a perfect sector 1, and I could keep the distance on the back straight, so he couldn't reach me. But yeah, 1 or 2 more laps and he would have got the win for sure.
Yeah, well, he stole the fastest lap away from you in the second race. He did a blistering 1:28.02, which is impressive by anybody's measure. But yes, another fine victory in that second race tonight. Road Atlanta's been kind to you. Next time out, we're at your track choice, Champion's Choice. It's Zandvoort. It's the remapped version, as in it's been digitally enhanced, etc. Are you hopeful of getting a decent result there as well?
I have no idea. I still haven't driven it. But yeah, I love the Zandvoort. I raced a lot the original version. It was my first ever track on sim racing, and I loved it from from the first minute I entered the track. So yeah, I'm looking forward for a good race.
Yeah, I love this track as well. I'm very happy memories of the Legacy. What is the Legacy track now? But I have driven the new one as well. So it is different, but I don't think you'll be too disappointed by any means.
Yeah, don't give him any tips, Alan. He's already fast enough.
Well, it's different. You know, it's a bit steeper in some of the banking, and it does have a slightly different feel, but they haven't ruined it.
How much are you charging for the coaching, Alan? I can't remember.
Very little.
Well, we look forward to seeing you race again next week at Zandvoort. Anybody you want to shout out to before we let you go and celebrate?
Yeah, my team, Jason, he's flying. He got a big penalty for changing the car, but yeah, otherwise he would be up here in the standings. Mm-hmm. And with this car, is really flying. So looking forward to see where he will come up in the end. And you guys for making this happen.
Awesome stuff. In that case, we wait with bated breath. I might just sleep, from now until the start of next week's race.
It's going to be good.
Just so it comes a bit quicker, But yeah, massively entertaining racing tonight. Miguel Freitas, everybody.
See you.
Thank you very much.
Right then, next up into the booth, we have Jamie Wilson, who was in the thick of virtually everything and joined Team Jamie again for some scrapping in both races. Jamie Wilson, good evening.
Yeah.
So, talk us through. I've just chosen the wrong Jamie on the visual. There we go. There's the Team Chimera car. I do, yeah. You sound like you're at the bottom of the sea. Does he sound like that to you as well, Alan?
Yes.
Yes, right. That's not just me.
I've just gone to turn him up.
Oh, have you? Really?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I do that, I'll deafen all the viewers.
Hang on, that's why.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
I was on the wrong mic. Sorry.
Oh, I've done that before, don't worry.
My bad.
Middle of broadcast as well.
I was surprised you could hear me at all. My headset's like on the seat over there. So how does that work? Must have good ear rolls.
Very, yeah. What did you do in the first race? It was a 7th in the first race and a 6th in the second race. You started 4th, was it? Yeah, it'd be 4th in the second race. But talk about your first race first. Not much movement in that first one by many races, to be honest. It was very evenly balanced until we got to about halfway, and then everybody started pairing up and thrashing each other. And that seemed to be the case for you as well.
Yeah, there were kind of a couple of little trigger events in that because we were all in a pack, line astern. I was at the back of it pretty much. JB, I think, actually might have been behind me at the time. The first thing that happened was Carl had a bit of a scrappy lap, and I had to do an emergency stop behind him, and then that just sort of separated us off from the back of it a little bit. Mm-hmm. But then later on, I think JB Jeffrey got sideways or something happened with him and whoever he was racing with. I forget who it was now. And that kind of stacked us all up. I passed him, but then he got past me again. That gave Carl a bit of an opportunity because he was there in advance of me. So I just kind of lost out by everyone else having their own drama, basically.
Yeah, that was
ended up at the back of it.
That was the battle where Jamie Jeffrey went and lost 3 places in one corner or 2 corners.
I was the third of those. Yeah.
That was great to watch. We were having a great laugh in the booth. And then race 2 happened, and really competitive. You got out from, like you did in the previous week. I think it was the previous week anyway. Got yourself a big gap, and then that pesky Miguel Freitas, he absolutely munched away at it.
I have no answer for that. Every car I've ever driven at this track, going back to when it first came out, I don't know, 2009, whenever this one's quite an early one.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
I've always been just absolute crap at getting onto that back straight efficiently. Could be anything. Like even in a Formula V, I would struggle around there. I don't know why. It's my brain doesn't compute like that particular corner. It's like a blind spot for my racecraft or something. I don't know. But like even Miguel, who's in a Honda, which may as well be a car of twice its weight coming out the corners sometimes, from my own experience in it, as you know, compared to the Veloster, which is like a, rat down a drain pipe with an explosive at one end, out of the corners. I just couldn't match him through there when I was behind him. I was just thinking, what the hell is he getting out of there that quickly? I just couldn't figure it out.
Well, there was quite a few different lines into the second phase of the bone of the pork chop. And some of them, even the ones that were going into the corner shallow, seemed to get really good drive out the corners, and I couldn't understand it.
There's like a sort of
sweet
if you were
spot somewhere in it or something.
Yeah, if you were to overlay all of our lines through there and like color code them by how good they are at getting out the corner, you'd get like a completely like green good lap sort of exit for most of the field, and then you just have one red line, and that'd be me.
Well, something to work out, if nothing else.
Bloody corner.
In terms of entertainment, it was brilliant, and I'm sure, because we were talking about this, you like being in the thick of the races and the tactics and stuff, and we had plenty of that tonight. You must have been absolutely loving it.
I just briefly said to Sam, just before he dipped, I said, I had to give you boys something to do for 3 corners.
3 corners. Next time out, we go to Zandvoort, Champions Choice, and I think that one's going to be pretty good. From what Alan was describing of the track changes, because he's been there and raced it, it sounds like it's going to, if you knew the track particularly well before, you've got a few little bits to learn to polish it up. Have you put any rubber on tarmac there yet?
Not so much on the new version, but I certainly have in the old version over the years. It's one of the sort of old school tracks. And it was a touring car track in real life for many years. World touring cars went there a few times. So I know it from other sims for that reason. But it'd be interesting. If my line is as crap as it is around the turn 3 bowl there, I'll probably fall out of it.
Yeah, just slowly get spat out the side. No, I mean, it's going to be a good one, that one, I think. These smaller grids, they don't detract from great racing, do they? I mean, you've been door to door with so many cars in the last 2 races, I've lost count. There's a threshold with that. I mean, there's a higher risk of it being a slightly naff race where you're just sort of in no man's land. You need people around your pace, and I think most of us have got that. Yeah. Certainly myself and Jamie Jeffrey are quite well matched when he's having a bad day, pace-wise. And, the likes of Matt Flannery on a good day, we all kind of hover around that sort of level, I think. So as long as that little group is there, then that gives something for me to race, to get a good race out of it. And then at the front, you've obviously got the key protagonists up there that are all about the same as well. So as long as we've got, a couple of groups that are roughly in the same sort of region, then it should be pretty good. And as you say, I like getting in the thick of it, and I didn't let Miguel just drive past. I had to do something. No, we saw that. Yeah.
He absolutely played me like a fiddle to get past me in the end, but that's fair enough. He had the pace advantage to do it, so full respect to him.
Yeah, it was impressive to watch, but it was very controlled by the pair of you. But yeah, brilliant. Anybody you want to shout out to before we let you go?
Shout out to everyone that's doing these. We need you guys to be here for it to be a race, obviously, by definition, and yourselves putting it on as always. And looking forward to Zandvoort.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
The racing's been great, Jamie. Honestly, you've been doing a fantastic job. But because it's a small grid, the intensity of the racing's been great, and we've had the chance to concentrate on these little 2 up and 3 up battles. It's been really a great watch.
I am trying. I'm trying to make it entertaining where I can.
No, it's fantastic. Really great.
But I've been told that I'm very trying, but that's for a different thing. We look forward to seeing you next week at Zandvoort. Jamie Wilson, everybody.
Cheers, guys.
Cracking. Right, and in her usual interview spot is Fiona Siddons. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good
evening. Evening, Pete.
Let me find...
Evening, Alan.
I apologise for the graphic. I've not changed you over to Spyro by result yet, but I will.
No, but the paint's looking great.
Yeah, that is a different paint scheme. That's nice. I like that. But I did shed a very small tear with the lack of Matthews Logistics paint. I have to say, I did like that one. They were very quick tonight, weren't they? First race, you did all right actually. You weren't that far behind. We saw you doing some good battling with JB, and I think with Matt Flannery after he'd had a little bit of an excursion. I think you kept it pretty clean again, and in the second race, you, as I said during the race, you raced your own lines and raced your own race, and in the first lap, did what I kind of hoped you would. Kept well out of the way of those super fast guys, because on this track in particular, those first, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 turns before you get into that back straight can be lethal if there's any kind of difference in pace.
Yeah, the intention was to fight them, but I had a problem with the VR tonight. Intermittently, it was freezing for a split second. So I was, half the time I was going into corners waiting for a freeze, and it didn't happen. And then you get
it's your timing, hasn't it?
It's stopped now. I'll go in by you, pile into a corner, and then it'll freeze, and you're off the track.
Oh my God!
With that, I thought just drive slow, keep off the line, let everybody go.
Yeah, you want to, well, hopefully figure out quickly what that is, because that must be so frustrating.
It was, yeah.
I mean, I've had races on a previous computer, not using VR, just on triples, and at points around the track, I just got still frames, and then I'd reappear a little bit further down the track, and that wasn't during the time of going full Bingham, as Jamie coined it, when I had terrible internet. This was just a computer issue. But you're right, it's very distracting, and you're thinking, when's it going to happen again? Is it going to happen on every corner? And it doesn't, and then you think, oh, it's all gone, and then it does it, and you're like, oh my God, I'm crashing. So I can absolutely sympathise with that.
The annoying thing as well, it wasn't happening in the same place every time.
Well, at
just
least
anywhere.
Right. Well, hopefully you'll get better fare at Zandvoort next week. Hopefully all the gremlins of the VR will have gone. Have you raced the new version of Zandvoort yet? The remapped and all pretty version?
I haven't, no, but I won't be here anyway. I've got hockey next week, then the 2 weeks following that I'm in Spain, so I won't be back till November now.
Okay, well, Spain sounds very entertaining.
The nets are out already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywhere nice in Spain? Not that there's anywhere not nice in Spain. I'm sure the weather's fantastic.
Going to Salou.
Oh, right, very nice. Well, you've no doubt earned a nice holiday in Spain, and we wish you all the best for the hockey.
Thank you.
Anybody you want to shout out to before we let you? Where are you going to be racing next? Then let me go and find out for you. Where's mine?
So who's playing in the hockey?
Manchester.
Manchester, is that a big game? Are they hard?
Sometimes, yeah.
Right, I think you're going to be beaming back in for Summit Point.
Oh, that'll be good.
Oh, lovely.
Hang on, if you're away for 3, then that's 1, 2, 3. Oh no, you might be back for Donington National.
Oh, even better.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I like Donny.
Yeah, we like Donny, don't we?
Yeah.
We've been to Donny a few times now. We like Donny.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's only a few minutes up the road in real life for us.
Aye.
Yeah, too right. It's your home track, isn't it, for both of you?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
If he comes and picks me up.
Oh, right. Proper little community affair. In that case, we'll let you go and prepare yourself for A, hockey, B, holiday, and C, Donington National when you return from your holiday. Anybody you'd like to thank and shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, everybody at Result for having me in the team in these, as well as the MX-5. Everybody who gives the time up to watch. And you guys for putting the league on, because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be driving these nice cars.
Thank you very much. We appreciate and will accept all gracious comments. And we look forward to watching you race next time. Fiona Siddons, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Lovely. Good night, Pete.
Good night, Alan.
Right, so that's the end of our interviews for tonight. We've had a brilliant feast of competitive racing and paired and triple battles, and you approach these smaller grid seasons with a little bit of trepidation, but they've not failed us at all yet, and hopefully they never will throughout this season 14. We do have a decision to make though, and I'm still none the wiser about what I'm going to do.
Oh, I'm interested to know what you're going to do, actually. It's an interesting one.
I think Jason Landry on consistency has been excellent. He's got 2 second places there. He's had to fight for each one of them, and he was threatening for the win in the second one. Sam Blease has done better tonight than he's done in previous races. So I like what he's done. David Johansson was in the thick of it, possibly a bit too much, given the damage to the front of his car. But as Miguel said, that was mostly on Miguel. Jamie Jeffrey, very competitive again. Jamie Wilson's shown very well this week. I think my vote's going to have to go to Jason Landry. He was so competitive, and he was up at the pointy end in both races. He's managed to get 2 second places, which is a great points haul. And I just think in terms of consistency and in terms of being the closest to the winning post without actually winning it, he's done really well for me tonight. I like his lines when he's racing. I like the way he approaches overtakes. It's very calm, very calculated, and very, very ruthlessly efficient. I think he's done very well here at Road Atlanta tonight.
Yeah, fantastic driver, Pete. He really is fantastic. It's wonderful having this quality in the league, and we can enjoy it, and we do enjoy it. In fairness, they've got an educated and enthusiastic audience to appreciate just how good they are, these drivers.
Absolutely.
And great choice. Do you want mine?
Go on then.
Well, I mean, Sam's the obvious one because he's had a well-earned and hard-fought win. He has. And, of course, the Jamie's fantastic battling, and Mark and Carl were having a real good go as well. And, they'll be chasing each other. But I want to give it to JB.
Oh, right.
Because I really thought he tried hard tonight, and he showed absolute tons of spirit and heart. And fantastic. He's got pace, and he's just been showing so much in these last few weeks. I really want to give it to him. I think he's done great tonight.
No, I think that's an excellent
jumping
vote.
out.
Yeah, excellent and well-placed vote. Right, so we'll talk through that in the next race week as to where everybody's landed there. As for tonight, we'll bring this broadcast to a close. As you've no doubt heard many times, we're at Zandvoort this time next week.
Brum.
Yeah, no racing over the weekend for BSTV. The next weekend race is going to be V8's the weekend after this one. But for now, I will say goodnight to everybody. Thanks for those guys turning up to race, and those who turned up to watch the race. There's no point if you're not there. And many thanks as always to Alan. Tonight's been massively funny and entertaining, and I love my Wednesdays in the booth with you. And I will see you all next time. So take care, everybody. Stay safe. Avoid that nasty COVID thing that's making its way around again, and we will see you next time next week.
Good night, Pete. Good night, folks. It's been yet another juicy racing week, and I'm really looking forward to next week. I love Zandvoort. Fantastic place, and they haven't totally ruined it with their rescan and the new steep walls. Going to be an exciting prospect, and a different look to the track, and a new place for the drivers. So yeah, all good. Bring it on.